So I've lost all track of where I am. I've made all these different pinch pot bowls, and I'm working on them in slightly different sizes. I want you to be making a bunch of different pinch pot bowls yourself, but I also want to show you how to make them something else, right? Make them a little bit more than just a pinch pot bowl. So first things first, I have this, I started to do it on this one. I'm going to show you it from the beginning. I've got this piece that has a slightly cracking rim. Now it's tempting to just put water on that. I'm going to encourage you not to use water, at least not right away. And that's because I see a lot of people add too much water and then the clay gets really soft. And then it's harder to work with. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways that I would deal with this. The other thing I want to mention is our hands are a different amount of dry. Our rooms where we're working are different amounts of dry. And so some people may find that their hands seem to dry things out faster. I will show you several ways to work with this, okay? And so one of them will be adding some moisture. Just try the other stuff first with me. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to use my scoring tool, and I'm going to actually score that top edge up a little bit more. This is a nice scoring tool because I can pretty quickly get it roughed up. Notice that my lines are deep. I'm not going like this. I'm not being gentle about it, right? That's not going to help me. This roughing up that surface is going to hold on to my slip, and it's going to hold on to what I attach. Now, I'm also going to want to make a coil, and the best way to make a coil is you take a little bit of clay and kind of pinch it into a round shape, roughly, and then you're going to want to roll it with your hands. Now, with all this junk in my way, I better move that, because a round coil works best if you use the whole of your hand, the whole hand, to roll that clay out. Roll, roll, roll. And again, this one takes some practice, getting used to how much, I got a little too much, so I'm just going to chop a bit off there. How much clay you need, how much rolling you need, that sort of thing. So I'm just making a nice, fairly even coil here. Similar to what I did here, I'm going to score the edge of my coil like that, get it nice and roughed up. And then I've got the slip that I made before. If you don't have slip, you can use water, but slip is better, right? So I'm going to use this to add a layer of slip over the top. Now you can see where I got your brush. It's so much nicer than using your finger. So I'm going to use the brush to add the slip, and then I'm going to set coil side, scored side against scored side on my coil and my pot. And I'm just overlapping these a bit because the way I like to cut that edge off is I like to grab a knife and do sort of an angled cut through both coils, then pop out the extra from underneath there, that little bit. And now these two meet up at a little angle. It just makes it for a cleaner edge. Now I've got some yuck here. It doesn't look the nicest on that bottom edge, but it does look nice and smooth up here. And so from here on, I do want to make sure I got a little bit of pressure putting it down. It's not just set on top, but I'm going to smooth this bottom edge down like that. And the other thing that I'm probably going to do is see how sticky that is. I'm actually probably going to set this aside and wait a moment and come back to it because it's so wet that it's not going to work quite as nicely. I also want to show you another tool you can use for this, and I'm going to just gently smooth this a bit. And I think because this one's kind of bumpy, I'm going to cut a little bit of it off. I want it to be fairly smooth and even, more or less. Some people, one thing sometimes people do is they put it on a piece of paper so they can spin it, and then they just do a cut all the way across, all the way through. I'm being a little sloppy right now. But that's okay, because clay's forgiving. So I'm going to take that chamois that I got ready, and I'm just going to squeeze a little of the extra water out so it's not completely sopping wet. And I'm going to actually fold the chamois over the rim of my pot. So let me get that up here. I'm not setting it on top. I'm actually folding it over, and I'm squeezing with my 2 fingers on the side. So my fingers are touching here, and here, not straight down. And depending how much pressure I use on either finger and how many times I go around or over, I can control the shape. So I can pinch it. I'm going to do that over here. I can kind of pinch my fingers together and create sort of a thinner rim. I can do more dragging on the top, which is going to be a flatter rim. And I can do a combination of those things. Now, for the video, I'm going super fast. One of the things you don't see in this video is how I carefully go back and smooth this whole thing, particularly when I'm not trying to angle it at the camera very, very carefully.